Let us continue. In previous video, we discussed about WS questions and yes no questions. Now we are going to talk on tag or question tag. Let's see. Sentences seeking to confirm information expressed by a statement can also do with the help of a tag questions. Tag questions are similar in function to the yes no questions, but unlike the yes no questions. For tag questions, we do not move the auxiliary to the front of the sentence instead of as the following example demonstrate. We duplicate the auxiliary and use it at the end of the statement along with a pronoun which will represent the subject of the sentence. Do not forget to put the question marks at the end of it all. Also remember that unlike WS questions and yes no questions, the auxiliary is used twice, first in its normal position and second as the part of the tag questions. Let us see. Sarita is getting ready. The teacher has forgotten his glasses. We cannot afford a new car. Now look at the sentences D, F tag questions. Sarita is getting ready, isn't she? Sarita is getting ready, isn't she? The teacher has forgotten his glasses, hasn't he? We cannot afford a car, can we? If the sentence is in negative, then we make it tag positive. If sentence is in positive, then tag it will be negative. You will have also noticed that above statement tag question pairs that when the statement is positive, the tag question involves an auxiliary which is in negative, and when it statement is negative, the tag question involves an auxiliary. This is a positive. Let's continue negative sentences. As stated earlier, negative sentences are used to express an opinion opposite to that of an affirmative sentence. In English, this is done by using word not after the auxiliary verbs can be seen in the following examples. Sarita is getting ready for the party. The teacher has forgotten his glasses. We can afford a new car. Sentence DF show negative sentence. Sarita is not getting ready for the party. The teacher has not forgotten his glasses. We cannot afford a new car. This is all about the negative and positive sentences. This is very simple. Let's continue. Last most important part of the syntax, that is D support. You should have noticed that the rules of the formation of WS questions, yes no questions, tag questions and negative sentences all make a crucial use of the auxiliary verb. But we also know that all English sentences have auxiliary verbs. Look at the following sentences. Maya goes for a walk every morning. Sarah doubted if the story was true. Ali and Mohan run a very successful business. Unlike our example sentences earlier, which had auxiliary verbs, these sentences do not have any auxiliary verbs since the function of asking questions, and negative statement is universal requirement in human communication. We cannot have some sentences that can be questioned and negated and some that can be. In English, the auxiliary do comes to the rescue of all such sentences which require auxiliary verbs but do not have them. This phenomenon of inserting do in its different forms is known as do support or do insertion. Remember, do support or do insertion. Let's continue. In this case, the auxiliary do attracts or attaches itself to the verb and takes away intense and conquered makers. Thus, in the above sentence, in do goes becomes does go, do doubter becomes did doubted, did doubt, and in do run becomes do run. Once we have auxiliary, the process of forming question and negative sentence is the same as that for the sentences auxiliary. So we get following sentences. Maya goes for a walk every morning. Maya goes for a walk every morning, doesn't she? Question tag. Maya does not go for a walk every morning. Negation. When does Maya go for a walk? WH question. Does Maya go for a walk every morning? Yes, no questions. This is statement and it transform into different kind. Tag negation WH question. Maya goes for a walk every morning, doesn't she? Question tag. Maya does not go for a walk every day. Negation. When does Maya go for walk? WH question. Does Maya go for walk every morning? This is yes no question. This is all about the questions. WH question, tag negation and yes no. You can try figure out the same set of sentence for the other two sentences B, C beginning this section which also require do support. This is the last part of the syntax. Last but not least, let us continue. Imperative sentences are used to issue instruction that the listener must carry out without fail. They express what we understand as orders and commands. These instructions are usually given to listener who is in the presence of the speaker. Grammatically speaking, the listener is always the second person pronoun you and the speaker is always the first person pronoun I. Since these are orders, they also contain the auxiliaries signify order like must, should, etc. However, since all imperative sentences will have you as the subject, followed by the auxiliary must, should to denote obligation, these two are dropped and not used when in formation and imperative sentence. They are dropped not because they are not necessary, but because they are clearly known for the context. Let us continue. Imperative sentence ordinary okay. You will give order and command. In imperative sentence, you must go and close the door. Affirmative sentence. You should sleep now. Affirmative sentence. You should not go to market now. Affirmative sentence. Delete the subject and auxiliary. Go and close the door. Sleep now, not go to the market. Go and close the door. Go and close the door. This is the imperative sentence. Sleep now. Don't go to the market now. Imperative sentence. This is here made by us. You should have noticed that the last example requires do support for the negative not to appear in the sentence as the auxiliary should that had initially supported it. Since negative sentence always need an auxiliary to support the negation, has to be deleted when forming the imperative. This is a useful point to highlight and end our discussion. You notice above how while one rule deleted the auxiliary that supported to negation, another rule came to the rescue and did not allow the sentence to collapse. This is a significant point of view to remember as we end this discussion. Linguistic structure is complex rule governed system with many subparts, but the structure is finally formed as a result of interaction of this many subsystems in the way language will have its own unique ways of resolving conflicts and remaining consistent. This is all about the syntax. So this is your duty to go thoroughly one by one and you will be able to understand. Also, I have also provided video. You should watch carefully and read it at your level. You will able to understand. It takes time and you will able to understand using sentences and communication. This is very useful structure for us and you will able to create standard sentence structure in your writing. I hope so. I have covered all the parts of the syntax. I have focused on more on the part, and let's stop here. We will learn another part in next video. Thank you so much.